What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. I'm your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I do greatly appreciate anytime anybody shows up here to watch me flap my gums. And tonight, I'm going to be talking once again about comic books. I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the comic books that are getting ready to come out for the week. And then, after that, I'm going to get out and get on and discuss a comic book that comic book series I've recently been reading here, and that's called The No Ones. Okay, now the No Ones is it's so far it's 5 issues in. I've only got the latest 3 issues. I got in on it on issue number 3 of the No Ones. There's issue number 3, issue number 4, and then issue number 5 just came out this last week, and I'm going to be discussing those a little bit later on. And you know what? I've got to grab something else really quick. Something I'm going to be doing a giveaway for. Okay, and I will be announcing this giveaway, announcing a giveaway here shortly. So to get entered into that, you may have to watch this video. You may have to watch it to the end. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's see, Tommy. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see, what's this thing telling me here? Saying please. Oh, okay. Well, if there's any problems going on with the video or anything, please let me know down in the comments. As always, sometimes these things can be tricky with YouTube and OBS and all this stuff. It gets to be a headache sometimes. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into some of the comic books that we've got going on for this week. And first off the top, I want to talk about this one right here, and that is Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, this is a mini-series that is getting ready to come out on trade paperback this week. It was a 5-issue miniseries, basically telling the story about Peter Parker after he had got back to Earth after the events of Secret Wars, and he had the black symbiote suit, and he hadn't fully yet discovered all the highs and lows of having this suit as he's coming to terms with just like the powers in the new suit and everything, and learning about it. And the main antagonist in this story is Mysterio. Mysterio is the main bad guy throughout the story. Oh, dang, I'm messing some stuff up here. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, and so through Symbiote Spider-Man, so basically it takes place in like the 80s, and it was actually a pretty good story. Like I said, it's getting ready to come out on trade paperback, so you can save a few dollars as compared to when I had to buy them all on single issues. One you should definitely want to check out there. Dimajanai, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Tommy says, internet has been screwy for a lot of creators today. Yeah, well, for me, I think it's just OBS. I don't know, man. I won't pretend to know like I'm good with OBS or anything like that, and lately it's been acting up a whole lot. So the next one we've got here, this is on Image Comics. We got Chrononauts Future Shock. This is issue number 1. Now, I believe this is probably a volume 2 or volume 3 of the Chrononauts, and this has been being written by Mark Miller, and that's a pretty nice cover there, if you ask me. I don't know. Next on Image Comics is Kick-Ass issue number 18. Again, Kick-Ass is obviously, one of their, I don't know, I guess it's a pretty popular character. I remember seeing the movie a handful of years ago. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I haven't read any of the comic books, but if you had, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear a little bit more about that. The next one we got here is The Ride Burning Desire. I believe this is issue number 5? Yeah, issue number 5 of 5, as a matter of fact, when it's coming down to this Ride series. And I haven't read this series. What about you guys? Have you guys read it? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know about any of these if you've read them. Like I said, I haven't read all of these issues. I don't have the time nor the money to read everything. This one is next one is Safe Sex issue. I believe this is issue number 2 getting ready to come out. And I haven't heard anything about this one. I think I heard one of the comic book creators saying this one was, or content creators here on YouTube saying that this one was a decent read for issue number 1. I don't know. I guess we'll see how the future of that goes. Next on Image Comics from Top Cow is Witchblade, and this is what is this? Issue number 16 on Witchblade on this current volume. that is going on there. Again, I've never really read any Witchblade, but I don't know. What about you? Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Next is Dark Horse. Is going to be on Dark Horse Comics. We got Disney's The Little Mermaid. Obviously, this is one that Dark Horse is licensing out from Disney and doing some little stories here on. Next is Ether, written by Matt Kint and with, I'm guessing, art by David Rubin. I've never read this series. I don't know. Have you guys read that? I believe that is on ID. Oh, that's on Dark Horse Comics as well. So I don't know. I've never read that one. I've never seen that. Ooh, this one right here. God, what is this one? This one is Fight Club. Fight Club 3, issue number 10. And you can tell, I believe this artist here is David Mack. He's a pretty popular guy out there in the doing a lot of covers that a lot of people like, and I'm sure collectors have been collecting. Next, we got Hellboy and the BPRD. I'm not sure if this is just like a one shot or what the deal is here with this, but that is on Dark Horse Comics. You know, it's Hellboy, so you know I'm sure some people are going to be going out there to buy it just for that reason. Next is Invisible Kingdom, written by G. Willow Wilson, and along with Christian Ward. Haven't read this series as well. I have heard of it though. It's on their Burger Books line. I've heard of it just through some of the other comic books. A couple of the other books that I've read here on Image Comics. God, why does that keep doing that? The next one, ooh, what was the name of this one? Last Stop on Red Line, number 4 of 4. So this is gonna the last stop on Red Line. This is going to be the last issue in this little 4-issue mini series. I haven't read anything about that, so if you've heard about that, let me know down in the comments below. Manor Black, issue number 4 of 4 as well. Again, this is another, obviously, a little 4-issue mini series that is coming to an end this month as well. And if you've read any of these, please let me know down in the comments below. They've been around for a while, so I'd guess at this point that they're still going to continue to be around for a while. Continuing on to IDW Comics, we got this issue number 7, Disney Afternoon Giant. These are giant issues. You know, I'm not sure how many pages this has in it, but it's $5.99, so it's guaranteed to probably have at least a little more than your regular $3.99 comic book out there. Next one is My Little Pony Feats of Friendship, issue number 2. If your kids are into My Little Pony, hey, check it out. You know, I know some of these, man, I've seen some of these at the comic shop that have actually got pretty decent prices on them, like hefty prices, that they've gone up in value. So, hey, man, you never know. Might want to look into those My Little Pony books. The next one here is issue number 4 of Star Pig, and I believe, I could be wrong here, but I think this is the last issue of Star Pig as well. But again, I could be wrong there. Let me see. Star Pig, no, that is number 4 of 4 right there that we've got coming up on Star Pig. So the next one is issue number 7 of Star Trek Year 5. I'm not a Trekkie or anything, but that's on IDW Comics. They do a lot of those franchise type into all of that series. I know Marvel's been doing some books relating to the journey to Star Wars Rise of Skywalker as well. The next one we got is issue number 5, and this is Star Wars Adventures Return to Vader's Castle. And I believe they've been doing this as like a weekly series. I know over the past few books, or over the past few weeks, there's been issues coming out on this series. Demajane says, "You everywhere, bro." Yeah, I know. You know, I think it is the I think it's OBS, man. I think OBS is just acting up. Maybe there's some updates or something on it that I need to get worked out. I don't know. But yeah, see, this thing is giving me a hard time over here, and like I said, I don't know enough about like all this OBS stuff and how all this stuff works the best and all that stuff. I don't know, man. I just plug it in and hope it all works. It all works for the best. That's about the best I can do, because other than that, like right here, show me its delay in kilobytes per second, and it's going up and down, it's fluctuating, it doesn't look too good. It's showing me my stream health, and it looks pretty bad, so I'm not sure what else I can do about that aside from sit here and cry about it, you know? Oh, you're talking about Tommy. Yeah, Tommy's everywhere, man. Tommy's a great supporter of a lot of people. I thought you meant about the stream being choppy or anything. And if it's being choppy, let me know, because, you know, over here on my end, it's showing that it's not being the best in the world. So okay, now let's go ahead and continue on here. The next one we've got here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles City at War Part 7. Trinity, have you ever tried Streamlabs? You know, I do not. It won't let me do Streamlabs on here, so I guess that's that. um, so yeah, I haven't been reading the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, let alone the City at War series. This is saying this is issue number 99, and this is the cover A. A lot of people have been liking the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, sounds like something cool if you're into that sort of thing. Issue number 2 of Transformers Galaxies, A Bold New Era is coming out as well this week on IDW Comics. Now we're getting into DC with this 100-page Aquaman, giant Aquaman issue for $5. I believe this one is going to be $4.99. 100-page series of Aquaman. You should definitely want to check that out. Next, on their black label, they got Basket Full of Heads, issue number 1. I believe this one is going to be a mini series as well. Yeah, it's this is issue number 1 of 6. So there are going to be more of those coming up probably here pretty soon. You know, over the next 6 months, I would guess. The next one we've got here is Batman and the Outsiders Annual. So that's Trapped Inside the Soul Taker. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't read a whole lot of DC or anything, but if you're a Batman fan, you should probably definitely get out there and read this. Batman is like in everything now. I mean, I think they're oversaturating Batman right now, like they do Spider-Man. And then here we got Batman Annual number 4. This one says, From the Diary of Alfred Pennyworth, a Batman tale like no other. You know, so the Batman Annual. Like I said, there's already 2 issues coming out with Batman in them, right? Okay, the next one is a Ghost 100-page Ghost Giants. This is DC's Ghost universe, I would guess. So again, this is going to be a $4.99 comic. So a dollar more for the comic, and it's going to have 100 pages in there. I've never, you know, like I said, I don't read a whole lot of DC, but I would imagine this is probably going to have. Look, it says right on there, 9 action-packed adventures. So I don't know. I guess you're getting, you know, I guess that averages out to about 10 pages. I don't know, about 10 pages per. 11 pages, I guess, per story. So, I don't know. You might want to check that out. Then the next one is issue number 6 of 6 on DC's Deceased. Now, I got to say, this one will be on my pull list. I've been pulling this. I think I still got to read issue number 5, but I've really liked this series, and I'm not really big on DC, but this one's pretty good as this, basically, this techno virus took over, has basically made humans into zombies, and it's been pretty cool. I'll be picking up this cover right here, the Zombie Eyes cover, right here. And look at that one. That's a pretty cool cover right there. I'll be getting that one. It's a little, I don't know, what do they call, cardstock variant. Been some beautiful covers they've been doing there with the zombie variants on there. Again, this series has been really well written by Tom Taylor. I've quite enjoyed it myself anyway. I don't know about you guys, but I've enjoyed it. And if you've been reading it, you should let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you've been thinking about DC's Deceased. Again, it's like the zombies thing, and we'll see here in a few minutes that Marvel's going back into that same thing too. Next, we have Superman, The Death of Superman. Now, this is one of DC's dollar comics, one of the ones that they're doing out there for just $1. And if you're just new getting into comic books or anything, you don't know what books to buy or anything like that, go out to your local comic book shop and buy some of these dollar comics. Image Comics have been doing some of those called Image Firsts for $1. DC's been doing them. They're dollar comics for $1. Marvel's been doing their True Believers. So, like I said, you can't really beat these prices for some of these books. Next, we've got book number 2 of Harleen by, who's doing this? Stefan Sajic? I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm probably messed that up. But I've heard I've heard various reviews about this book. Apparently, it's a pretty good series. I haven't read anything like that. Like I said, I don't read a whole lot of DC myself. But, you know, hey, might want to give that a shot if that's something that you're into. And again, that is on DC's Black Label. The Lonely Banter says, I am here. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you being here, and anybody else who is here to see me flap my gums for just a little while. The next one here is Joker Killer Smile. Now, I believe this one is going to be a little 3-issue mini-series, and that's kind of, you know, something I've got right here. Okay, and I'm going to be giving... Look at that. Yeah, right? That's what I said, right? Yeah. Pretty cool, right? Does anybody want to win that? Anybody want to win that poster? Okay, if you guys, I'm gonna give this poster away of this Joker Killer Smile right here, and it's a poster I got it from my local comic book shop. And let me tell you, if anybody wants this poster, all you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to come back to this video. come back to this video after it's all done and uploaded, maybe tomorrow or something. Set a reminder out there, and leave a comment in this video. Not here in the live chats, because for some reason it won't pull the stuff out of there like that, but make sure you leave a comment in this video, and I'll enter you in for a giveaway of this Joker poster. This exact same thing that you're seeing right there. I've got a poster of it right here. I'll send to you in the mail. All you got to be is be a resident of the United States, in the greater 50 states here, and just leave a comment in this video after it's done, completed, and uploaded. If you can remember. If not, maybe I'll remind people tomorrow. Maybe I'll remind them on my comic book pull list this week. I don't know, but if not, I guess I gotta hang it on my wall. But you should come back and enter into that giveaway. That's all you got to do, is be subscribed and leave a comment in the video after it gets done uploading. This is live, so you can't really do it here. Anyway, moving on. We've got The Last God, book of the book of the Chronicles. Yeah, and this is again on DC's Black Label. Again, this is an issue number 1. I'm not sure if this is going to be an ongoing series, if it's going to be a mini-series. According to this, it looks like it's going to be an ongoing series, so that might be something cool if you're into something like that. It looks like it's more kind of like a Conan kind of tell. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Okay, next up we got Nightwing Annual. It looks like this is number 2. The Bullet That Shattered Dick Grayson's Life. Okay, so we know a lot of times these annuals are pretty much just like one-shot stories, not really necessarily tied into what's going on in their ongoing series. But if you're into a big Nightwing fan, hey, the annual's coming out, you should go check that out. Here in the Sandman universe, I got Hellblazer. I believe this is issue number what is this, number 1 on Hellblazer issue number 1. And this is on DC's Black Label again as well. And this one, it's saying it's just a special, so I'm not sure if this is going to be an ongoing series, if this is just like an annual or anything like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't read a whole lot of DC anyway to know the difference and be able to tell you the difference. So and here's I believe this one right here. I'm guessing this is another one shot right here. It's Tales from the Multiverse, The Death of Superman, number 1. So it's saying number 1. So I don't know if they're going to do more of these, or if this is just number 1 of the Tales from the Dark Multiverse. I don't know, but look at that cover. It looks like something pretty sick. The next one we got is the Wonder Woman Annual. It's saying that's number 3. Trapped in Gorilla City, an Event Leviathan tie-in. So this one's tying into the Event Leviathan that's actually going on. I believe that's still going on right now in DC Comics. Like I said, I don't really read a whole lot of DC, so let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. It looks like we are now getting into Marvel Comics territory here. The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Black Panther issue number 17 is coming out this week. The Revenge of Killmonger. Then we got the Final Fate, Conan the Barbarian issue number 10. And then is Contagion issue number 5. Now this one, I'm not exactly for sure if this one is, I think this is the last one of this series, and this series has just basically it's come out over the past 3 weeks. One issue has dropped each week ever since since 5 weeks ago. I haven't read it. I haven't heard a whole lot about this series, other than the fact that Young Ripper 59 did a quick little kind of overview on it, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was Young Ripper 59. Said it was pretty decent, so I don't know. I haven't read it. Maybe I'll wait for trade paperback or something. The next one here is issue number 12 of 12. This is it for Dead Man Logan, being written by Ed Brisson. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that Dead Man Logan. Let me know how that is down in the comments below. I haven't read the Dead Man Logan one, so let me know. The next is Death's Head issue number 4. This is the 4th and final issue in this Death Head miniseries. I pulled the first 2 issues of this. I didn't get them read, and I'm sure there's no shortage of these at the comic book shop, so I went ahead and stopped pulling it. And I don't know, I'll get those first 2 issues read and see what I think about them. I believe I got a little bit way through the first one, thought, it was okay. I've got a poster over there on my wall of it, but, I just put that up because, my comic book shop is just badass, and they gave it to me. The next one we have here is the Doctor Strange Annual. And again, I haven't been reading Doctor Strange. You can see all the little things going on there. We got Doctor Strange there on the cover with Iron Man and Thor's hammer and Cap's shield. I don't know what's going on. It's probably just like a little one-shot story anyway, so who knows? Might be something you want to check out. The next one, this is going to be a big one here. Excalibur issue number 1. Now this one is another one of those books that's tying in to that Jonathan Hickman series that just ended, the House of X and Powers of X. This series is one of the new tie-in series that is getting ready to come out this week, and this one's being written by Teenie Howard. So this one, in itself, I'm gonna do a review on the channel for sure here, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna put this on my pull list. I may go ahead and just buy this first issue anyway, so I can have the first issue of each, or the first release of all of these issues here, like the dawn of X, I guess you could say. But all other than that, I'm probably not going to put this on my pull list and continue to read it. Again, I don't know. I haven't really read any Teenie Howard, so I can't speak to the writing or anything like that, but this one isn't one that overly excites me. But you can see the team of people that we've got there. We've got a new Captain Britain. We've got Rogue. We've got Gambit. We've got Jubilee, Apocalypse. I don't know. It looks like they got a little team of people here going forward for whatever story that they're getting ready to be doing here in Excalibur. So look forward to that review coming up probably late Tuesday night. The next one we got here is Fantastic Four Grand Design. Now I know they recently did this, and this is probably going to be, I'm guessing, like a little mini series. Who knows if this is going to be it says Fantastic Four Grand Design, issue number 1 of 2. So this is only going to be a 2-issue miniseries. They recently did one of these with X-Men not too long ago. So, if you want to learn a little bit more about the Fantastic Four, might be one you want to check out. The next one here, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 13. Guys, if you haven't been reading Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, this, of all the Spider-Man titles there are out there right now, there's really only like 2 ongoing of Peter Parker in the main universe, because there's also the Gamerverse one going on right now called Spider-Man Velocity. But of Amazing Spider-Man and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, of those 2 ongoing series, I gotta tell you guys, like, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man it's kind of taken over as my favorite, written by Tom Taylor. The story has been really good. Now, it's a little bit more grounded story than what we get out of The Amazing Spider-Man. It's a little more down to earth, a little bit more of the character of Peter Parker, just being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, as opposed to Amazing Spider-Man, where it's a little bit more bigger kind of events, I guess you could say, a little more grandiose, I guess. But Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 13, getting ready to come out. Again, I've really enjoyed this series, and let me know down in the comments below. Do you like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Have you read it? What do you think about it? Let me know. The next one here is Invisible Woman, issue number 4, written by Mark Waid. Now, I believe this one is issue number 4. I think this is only a 5-issue mini series as well. Again, I've read through the first 2 issues. I still got to read issue number 3. Maybe I'll do that later this week and bring a review of issue number 4 here as well. I've kind of enjoyed this series. It's not too bad. But I feel like, for an issue number 4, going into issue number 4, I still got to read issue number 3. But the first 2 issues, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more in them. There needs to be a little bit more to it to, really suck you in and bring you in to make you want to read this book. Again, I'm not saying it's being written bad or anything like that. It's been quite interesting, but I feel like there should be more to it for only it being a 5-issue miniseries. But I don't know. That's just me. If you've read it, let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. The next one here is issue number 11 of Riri Williams. E-Viewing's been writing this series. I haven't read it, so I can't speak to it. But if you want somebody that could tell you more about the Ironheart comic book, I'd suggest you go check out Chillmonger here on YouTube, and you can just look him up at Chillmonger. Yeah, it's all one word, Chillmonger. Kind of like Killmonger, but chill. Because he's chill. He's the only person in the world with dual citizenship to Canada and Wakanda. You should go check him out. The next one here is Journey to Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Allegiance, issue number 4. Again, they have been doing several series kind of tying into Rise of Skywalker, as it is getting ready to come out in the middle of December. Who always seem to be battling it out for who's better, or who's bigger, or whatnot. They're always having pissing contests over there. And of course, DC can't do Deceased and write a good story, especially being written by Tom Taylor, who's writing Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, right? He's working for the competition. He's double dipping right there. But of course, they couldn't leave Tom Taylor's tail alone, so Marvel had to go out there and put out Marvel Zombies Resurrection with Philip Kennedy Johnson writing. And can he do as good a job writing as Tom Taylor did? I don't know. I guess we're right there. I really like Lee and Yuck covers. This one right here just doesn't know liking some support for my stream. You're awesome. Stay amazing. Well, thank you so much, Rosetta. And hey, I didn't even know you were streaming right now. I've been so busy lately. I haven't even really got a chance to be on YouTube much outside of, just between my wife's birthday, making cupcakes with the kids and making some videos, reading comic books. Busy life, right? But so let's see, what do we got next? Next we've got okay, yeah, see that's the cover right there. Look at that cover right there for Marvel Zombies Resurrection. That's pretty nice. The next one we got here is Red Goblin, Red Death. Now this one right here, I'm not for sure of. I'm just guessing that this right here is just a one-shot book. I'm guessing this isn't going to be an ongoing series or anything like that. But Terrazon, thank you so much for being here. No problem being late. I'm just here flapping my gums about comic books right now. I'm going to talk about the no ones here in just a minute as soon as I go through some of the comic book previews that are coming out this week. But Red Goblin #1, Red Death. I'm pretty sure this is just a one-shot issue. It doesn't really say here on the site. Usually it says like 1 of 6 or anything like that if it's a mini series, but like I said, I'm guessing this one is just a one shot. Then next we have Runaways issue number 26. Man, I didn't even know this series was still going on, and I'm here doing the previews a lot of the times a week, so I don't know. I haven't read the Runaways ever, so if you have, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. The next one is Savage Avengers Annual. Okay, now they're only 6 issues in on Savage Avengers, but I'm not going to be upset that they're coming out with an annual on this. And it is being written by Jerry Dugan as well. Or is that Duggan? Dugan? I don't know. But maybe I'm just thinking Dugan because of Dum Dum Dugan. I don't know. But Jerry Duggan has been writing this. He's been writing the Savage Avengers series. And I've even got that poster right up there behind me of the Savage Avengers. It's been a pretty good series. I can't complain. Although I think I've still got to read issue 5 and 6 on that. But it's been a very good series. I can't wait to read this Savage Avengers annual. Next one we got is Silver Surfer Black. This is issue number 5 of 5, written by Donny Cates. I haven't really heard a whole lot about this series because I'm not reading it myself, but hey, if you're into Silver Surfer, hey, you might want to check this one out. It's Silver Surfer Black, and it's Donny Cates, right? How could you go wrong? The next one is Dr. Aphra Annual number 3. So I'm guessing this is the 3rd annual that they've done for Dr. Aphra. Again, I've never read Star Wars Dr. Aphra, but if you have, you might want to check that out. The next one is Superior Spider-Man, issue number 12. Now, guys, this is being written by Christos Gage, and I'm a fan of his work, and I like Superior Spider-Man. Something about Otto Octavius being Spider-Man, it just seems to work. Now, what's interesting about this one is we see that cover there, which is crazy because the way that issue number 11 had ended, as he is basically in a fight with Norman Osborn from a different universe. So he's got like 4 arms and everything, and he's all like Norman Osborn is badass, but he's got like Spider-Man powers, and it's pretty crazy. But Superior Spider-Man has been really good. I've really liked this series. But I'm not sure how much longer this series is going to go on. It's like some of the things that are going on here, especially what's being set up for this book and what was set up in the last one, kind of makes me wonder if this series is going to be continuing, coming to an end soon, or if it's going to spin off into another series soon. I don't know, but I've liked it. If you've read Superior Spider-Man, let me know down in the comments below. The next one here, I believe this is a Marvel True Believers here. This is X-Men Karima Shapandar Omega Sentinel. So basically, it's telling the story of Karima, which she was one of the characters, if I'm not mistaken, she was one of the characters that was in the House of X and Powers of X series. I believe she was a little bit more prominent in the Powers of X series, in some of the the House of X series, in some of the events that were going on there, working with like the Sentinels and Humankind and different things like that. And that kind of goes along with this next one, which is this is another one of the X-Men True Believers, the Dollar Comics, and this one is Moira McTaggart. Issue number 1. This one's saying it's the night of the demon, but if the X-Men can defeat it, it may be the last night of the world. But this one right here, they're billing as X-Men True Believers, Moira McTaggart #1. Now this one right here, X-Men, they've been doing these True Believers comics the past, I don't know, I think the past couple weeks, they've been doing these X-Men comics on focusing on different characters throughout the X-Men universe that have been bigger characters in the Jonathan Hickman stories so far. Like we got one for Jubilee, Richter, and a couple of other people as well in past weeks. So I'm guessing they're doing these ones to tell some of the stories of some of the characters that are going on in the Jonathan Hickman series in the House of X and Powers of X, and then even all the spin-off series that are coming out after that, being the X-Men, the X-Force, which will be coming out soon, Excalibur that just came out this week, Fallen Angels, some of the different ones. So I'm guessing that's why they're doing some of these ones. The next one is Absolute Carnage tie-in. That's Venom issue number 19, written by Donny Cates. Now I haven't been reading Venom or anything, or keeping up with the Absolute Carnage event, but I've heard Absolute Carnage event's been actually pretty good. So, let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And if you've been reading Venom, I don't know, I haven't been. But then look at that cover right there. Oh, man, is that not a sick cover for that Venom? Like, that cover right there makes me want to buy this issue. Yeah, I'm judging a book off its cover, because that's just badass. Look at that. I don't know. Now we're moving on to Dynamite Publishing. We got Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 issue number 12. Now, I'm not sure how many issues are going to be in this series, but this is, again, an issue number 12 of James Bond. And I know Dynamite doesn't have too many coming out this week. We also got Warlord of Mars Attacks issue number 5. And I don't know, I've never read any of these books, but that book, just by the covers I've seen and everything, it just looks like it's a fun book to read. Next is on Boombox. So coming from, I believe this is on Boom Studios. This is Giant Days as Time Goes By. This is issue number 1. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe this is just going to be like a one-shot book of this popular series where it's kind of tying a lot of things up. I don't know. I've never read this series, but, if you're into Giant Days, you might want to check that one out. Next is Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. Now, I haven't watched The Dark Crystal since I was a little kid, but I do remember that show, and now I know they've got that TV show on Netflix, streaming on Netflix, and they've got the comic book coming out here just the same. And I believe this is issue number 2, and I'm just guessing it's going to be a mini series, not an ongoing, but I could be wrong there. Next on Boom Studios is The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue number 44. Now I know that Geek Show Joe's Geek Show here on YouTube, he's really into the Power Rangers books. He's been reading them and everything and keeping up with them. I've never read them, but apparently they've been pretty good. I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up with them, but something you guys might want to keep your eyes out on. Next, we're moving on into Archie Comics. We've got issue number 2 of 5 of Archie 1955. Then we've got Bloodshot issue number 2 on Valiant Comics, written by Tim Seeley and what is that, Brett Booth. Now, this series just started off last month, obviously, with issue number 1. I thought it was quite funny because issue number 1 came out, and then I think was it about a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, I don't know, it might have been about 2 weeks later, then they released that the preview for that Bloodshot movie getting ready to come out at the theater. So I don't think it's just a coincidence. The next one here is Gargantuan. God, what is it? I can't even remember who this one was on here. Let's see here. Gargantuan. Let's see, where are we at here? Gargantuan, that's on Amigo Comics, and that's number 4. That's number 4 of 5. So I've never read that, but I don't know. Cover looks kind of interesting. I mean, look at that. I don't know. Looks fun to me. The next one we've got here is Headless, issue number 3 on Scout Comics. This is obviously on a smaller indie publisher. I've never heard of Headless or anything, let alone read 3 issues, but I don't know. It looks kind of interesting from that cover there, but I don't know. If you've read it, let me know down in the comments below. The next one we've got Jughead's Time Police, issue number 5, and I'm not sure if this is an ongoing or just a mini-series as well, but hey, if you like Jughead, you might want to check out the Time Police. Next here, by Colin Bunn, is Knights of Temporal, issue number 3. This is on Aftershock Comics. Guys, I've been reading some Aftershock Comics, and I've liked what I've read out of them. Again, Colin Bunn is the one writing this, and as far as I know, he's a pretty good writer. This is Knights of Temporal, another series that he has written. I've seen several series that he's written as of lately. It looks like he's kind of getting a little bit bigger out there, getting some more work, so hey, that's a cool thing. The next one, on Vault Comics, Mike Morecki comes in with Maul number 3. I can't wait to read issue number 3 to see what's going, to learn a little bit more about what's going on in this series, because it's been one of my favorites, guys. I've been reading a lot of Vault Comics, and they haven't let me down yet. They haven't let me down yet with a bad title. I'm sure one of these days they will, but for now, they've been really good, and I've been liking the work over there at Vault Comics. Next on Black Box Comics is Militia issue number 5. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, look at that. It looks like it might be interesting. Look like it's some sort of maybe a futuristic type story, you know? I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you've ever read that down in the comments below. Then after that, on Xenoscope Entertainment, we got Monster Planet number 1 of 5. Okay, so this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries called Monster Planet on Xenoscope Comics. Now, I'm glad that this is a 5-issue series because I just recently read another series out of Xenoscope Comics called The Watcher, and it was only a 3-issue miniseries, and I only read issue 2 and 3. I think I picked up enough on issue number 2, but issue number 3 seemed really rushed, and it was 32 pages of story in the book, and that's what they advertised on, with like 32 pages of actual story. Now, the third issue there felt a little bit rushed. I kind of felt like they needed a 4th issue for it, so maybe that's something they need to think about in the future. I don't know, but, you know, if this is around, maybe I'll see if I can pull that and do a review of it at least. Ooh, next is on Vault Comics as well, the Necromancer's Map, issue number 3. Now, I still have to do a review for issue number 2, but maybe I'll go ahead and do that with issue number 3 this week. I gotta say, I've actually kind of liked this series. It's not too bad. It's a little bit slower paced book, as we can see that the main character here is kind of out on a journey to help bring Elisar, who is the other character there, not the one far in the background, but Elisar is the one with the sword in her hand there, trying to get her and bring her back to life. So, I don't know. I've really liked this series. It's not been too bad. Next, we've got Pink Lemonade number 1. I've never heard of this series. I've never heard of this book, but this is on It's Alive Comics. I don't know. Look at that cover, though. It looks like something kind of crazy. Something, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain, but it looks like it might be fun and interesting. The next one, ooh, right here. I can't wait to read this one right here. That's The Plot, issue number 2. This one's on Vault Comics as well. I really like The Plot issue number 1. You should go back and watch my review on it if you haven't read that yourself. Very good book here. I can't wait to read this second issue because the way issue number 1 left off, it made me want to read issue number 2. Then we got more Black Box Comics. That's issue number 3 of Psycho Lists. I haven't read this series, but from what I heard, it's kind of a crazy series. And you can see right there on the cover, I mean, look at that, what's going on there with like all the dead bodies and everything. Ooh, naked bodies. Ooh, I don't know. Then coming up on Vault Comics, and I haven't read this series, but I'd be interested if they had this at my local comic book shop. Maybe I could always see if they can order it in or wait for the trade paperback as they're on issue number 5. But that is Queen of Bad Dreams, issue number 5. Again, it's on Vault Comics, so I can't say that it's not going to be a good issue. It's not going to be anything short of good, at least. They just seem to put out good quality content. The next on Scout Comics is Red Winter, issue number 4. Now, this one I was kind of interested in when issue number 1 came out, but I haven't really heard much about it. Have you read Red Winter? If you have, let me know down in the comments below. The next one coming up here, this one right here, Relics of Youth. This is issue number 2. Now this one is on this one's on Vault Comics as well. And like I said, guys, I've really liked what's been going on over there at Vault Comics. I can't wait to read this issue as well. I will definitely be bringing a review of that one as soon as I get it read as well. Again, a great book on a great done by a great publisher. The next one we got is Rick and Morty. This is on Oni Press. I haven't been reading this series, but there's a lot of people out there that like the Rick and Morty franchise, and probably pick this book up. The next one is on Valiant Comics, and this one's being written by Cullen Bunn as well, and that's Roku. I'm not sure if you ask me, it sounds like Goku, but Roku I thought that was one of those things that you plug into your TV to stream services. I don't know, I could be wrong. But that's issue number 1 coming out on Valiant Comics. You might want to give it a read. It's an issue number 1. It's always worth it to kind of get into a number 1. So you get in at the beginning of the story, and it really kind of sets the tone for a whole story to see if it's something you're going to like. Next right here, I believe this is a one-shot comic as well on Scout Comics called Snow White Zombie Apocalypse. Ooh, I don't know. That sounds pretty interesting. If they had this at my local comic book shop, I'd probably pick it up just to read because that sounds interesting. The next one we got is on Aspen Comics. Michael Turner's Soulfire. That's issue number 5, and I'm sure this is probably of like volume 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. Being a Michael Turner book, I'm sure it's been around for a while. So it's volume 8. So hey. if you're into Soulfire, you're into those a lot of those tales that were started by Michael. Issue of 4 issues of Squarriors. That's volume 2. Summer goal number 2 of 3. See, in number 2 of 3, and I just told you guys about the Watcher that I just read. Where maybe they need to reevaluate this thing and go to 4 issues, because I don't know how this series has been, but the one I read, it was only 3 issues. I really wish that it could have been 4 issues, just to so that third issue didn't feel so rushed. But I don't know. Maybe the writer here is doing something a little bit different. I don't know. Let me know if you've been reading that series. Next, another one on Vault Comics I haven't got to read yet, and they're on issue number 5, so I'll probably have to go ahead and just wait for trade paperback, as I haven't seen these issues actually in my local comic book shop, and I know they've been getting them in. And that's Test, issue number 5. Again, I haven't read this series, but hey, I mean, it sounds kind of interesting. And again, it's on Vault Comics, so you can't go wrong right there. Next here is Vampire State Building, issue number 2. Now, I can't wait to read this one as well. Issue number 1 was very good. I actually just bought it from my local comic book shop to do a review on, and I read it, and I was like, ooh, I like this. This is pretty good. And I'm not really big into like the zombie vampire thing or anything, but this issue was pretty good. The art in it and the story and the setup all seemed pretty good. It really sucked me in. The next one here, coming here, is Warrior Nun Dora. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just hilarious. Look at that cover. I don't know. Have you read that series? Have you? I don't know. Next, and then the last one we got here is Woven Heart, issue number 1 on Mad Cave Comics. Or Mad Cave Studios. I've never read this series or anything like that. It's an issue number 1. I'm not sure if this is like a totally new series, or if it's a volume 1, volume 2. I don't know, man. But certainly, I don't know. It looks kind of interesting there, according to that cover. But 19K Fox, what's up? How you doing today, sir? Again, I hope you're all having a very good day today. So that's pretty much it for the comic previews that we've got coming out this week. I don't know. It's quite a list. Like I said, I will be definitely doing a review of Excalibur issue number 1 coming out, because all those titles that have been spinning out of the Jonathan Hickman X-Men relaunch series, I guess you could say, have been, man, I've been getting great views on them here on the channel. Again, I thank everybody who's been coming here to the channel to watch those, and anybody that comes here to watch me flap my gums for whenever I do. Now I'm going to go ahead and get in and start talking about this next thing that I wanted to talk about here, and that is oh man, what's this thing? This thing is still tripping on me. Okay, anyway, whatever. The next thing I want to talk about was a series I've been reading called The No Ones. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all this stuff, man. This stuff is all confusing to me. Okay. No. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this series right here, The No Ones. They're currently on issue number 5 of this series, and I just jumped in here on issue number 3, and this series is being written by Jim Krueger. Now, Jim Krueger, the reason I got into that is because I was following Jim Krueger. He's a writer. I was following him on Instagram, and I think he shared something maybe about Neon Future, which is actually one of my favorite comic books of the year. And he says, "Oh well, if you like that, I've got this other book coming out this month, and that's No One's issue number 3. It's kind of like the X-Men, I guess you could say. It's kind of like the X-Men meets the Watchmen kind of sort of thing. I mean, it's a team of heroes here who are struggling and have problems." And through issue number 3 and issue number 4, I was a little bit confused. You know what I mean? I felt like I didn't really know what was going on, because, and you guys probably can't see, but these issues, they're very thin, but they still got, I believe, 21 pages of story in them. But they just seem, I don't know, they seem really thin. But don't let the looks be deceiving, because these issues have a lot in them. Now, through these 3 issues that I've been reading, in issue number 3, like I said, we're learning about these characters where basically there was this group of superheroes called the Bastions, and they all came together, and they all come together and they fight crime. They all have different superpowers that they have to use to go out and fight crime. And let's see, the bastions of them, we've got the Bar, who is super strong in the standard of morality. There's the Muse, who is an illusion caster. We've got Ripple, who does a seismic echo. There's Flock, who is a bird controller. Halfling, who is a multiple man. And there's Omen, who is a danger beacon. And then there's Call, who is a dark musician. And there's a brief. Luckily, I got into him on this issue number 3 right here, because they kind of had this brief explanation of all of them here at the very beginning of it. But through these first few issues, basically, we're getting an introduction from each one of the characters, kind of diving into their character a little more. Like this first one that I read actually dealt more with Halfling, the guy who is here on the cover, who can split into different people. He can make multiples of himself. And what we see is that deep inside of him, there's like this dark, like evil spirit version of him as well that he can't let out, and has kind of been taking control of him. So what's going on here in this series is basically these heroes who have been going out there fighting crime, trying to just living the life, being famous. Like the world knows who they are. They've accepted them. I heard somebody saying this was like a post-hero kind of tale, similar to the Watchmen in that sense, where basically all the heroes are out there. Everybody knows who they are. They're kind of accepted and everything in the world. They're kind of looked upon to handle crimes and stuff like that. So this particular group of people were kind of like living in like a reality show kind of world. Like they were a group of heroes and they fought basically crime on like a reality show. Now again, I've got to go back and read issue number 1 and issue number 2. I'm going to see if my local comic book shop can read them or can order those in. But so what happened is apparently they killed somebody. It was like the wrong person or something like to kill, but this person actually set a curse on the whole team, and the world basically forgot who they are and don't remember who they are, and they're basically nobodies. And here in this issue, in issue number 3, we see that one of the half of the group of these heroes, which would be the Bar, Muse, and Ripple, are chasing after, like I was just showing you on that page there, are chasing after the other heroes, which are Call, Halfling, Omen, and what's the last one's name? Flock. They're all chasing after them because they thought they had done something bad. So they're good guys, bad guys, and they were chasing after them, and they narrowly got away from these 3 who were chasing after them. And the funny thing is here is the 3 afterward, that being the Bar, Muse, and Ripple, ended up going and robbing a bank because they needed money, right? And also because nobody's going to remember them anyway. And it's quite weird because they're the ones who are out trying to stop these other heroes, the other half of the team, and they're the ones doing all the bad stuff. But again, like it's really weird, kind of like what's going on here. And like I said, throughout these books, we get, like, you can see, like, there's a lot of conversation going on here. This story has a lot to it. I don't know if it's probably so much glare on there you can't read that exactly, but yeah, there's been a lot of dialogue throughout these books, really heavy. But again, in the first issue, like, it was kind of confusing because I was just getting in on an issue number 3 and I didn't totally understand the world and what was going on here. But so I went ahead and kept with it because, like, this series is being written more like a novel. It's more like a book, something that's heavy, but it's being done in the comic book medium. So you're getting to see pictures and put some of that together with it. And it's all the art here is being done by Well B, who's apparently doing the art, the colors, the inking, and all of those kinds of things. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit more of the art here as well, if you want to see some more of the art there. Again, this is it's been very good, but like I said, issue number 3 kind of had me like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. Halfling seems like a cool character, one I want to read more about. And let's see, here on each one of the covers it says something a little bit different. Like right here, you can see there on the cover, This one, it says the no ones. It says, this is magic, different rules altogether, but there are still rules. So that's, there's just, I don't know, kind of one of the taglines that they put in there for issue number 3. And then issue number 4 focused a little bit more on a different character. And this one says, the no ones, if you can see me, either I'm in danger or you are. And that's something that we learned in issue number 3 about this character, Omen, who is basically invisible to the world. Like, she's invisible in every single way, but unless like she's in danger or somebody else is in danger, basically like fear, if fear is around, people can see her. So it's kind of a weird, kind of a weird superpower to have. But then so at the beginning of issue number 4, we learn a little bit more about Omen and her character and how she came to be and her powers, and we get a little bit more story here about why the world, who has basically set this curse upon these heroes and what they're going through, and we see that basically that it was a mistaken identity. They accidentally killed somebody, is what it was, is what it sounds like, and that person actually ends up being one of the heroes' dads. And so he had set this curse upon him, and that would be Call. And here we see that the father actually meets them. I'm not sure how he's not dead anymore, but he comes to talk to them and meet them with this other half of the heroes that are kind of on the run, and tells Call about his mother and just his past, because he hasn't seen his mother in years, and it turns out that she was a witch. Yeah, like not like just like not like a witch. I'm not like she was mean or anything. Like, she was an actual witch, and he's like he has spirits talk to him. Call does. They talk to him, voices in his head and things like that. They kind of tell him, just kind of prophetic things. He can kind of tell. I don't know. I guess he's a dark magician. You know what I mean? So we learn a little bit more about that, and by the we see here through here more of it. The heroes that are after the other half of the heroes are working on getting these robots up and running, to go after them, and again, there's just some more crazy things going on throughout this issue. Like, once I've absorbed a little bit more of it, I get it. But again, the series is really heavy in the storytelling in this book, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually been very good. But it seems like there's some double crossing going on here as well. And then this last issue basically ends with a Call saying that the voices, the spirits, they're telling him to kill his father. So they're telling him to kill him. And again, issue number 4 was once again a heavy issue. I mean, there's a lot in these series, but again, it's being written by Jim Krueger, who is, from what I've read, is a very good writer. And these books, just in these 3 issues I've read, man, it seems like I've read so much, yet so little. I don't know, like, there's just a lot in each one of these issues. Now, this next one, issue number 4, and this one just came out this last week, says, I'm hoping we win, even if I don't live to see it. Okay, and this issue right here starts off, we're getting a little bit more, learning a little bit more of the character Flock and her powers and kind of how they all came to be and what she can do with them. And again, we return to the same spot where Call was there telling his father that he was the voices were telling him to kill him. And then we see that Call's father is starting to tell them a little bit more about exactly what's going on in the world and why the world, why they've been cursed, why the world has forgotten them, and exactly what's going on with all these heroes, because there's more at play than just the world forgetting who they are and them worrying about that. But that's the thing, is like, these people had kind of lived on this mantle so high up, like they're heroes and the world looked to them and things like that, and sometimes, people in those situations, they kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily abuse powers, but they use them to their advantage and things like that. So I don't know, it seems like it's really full of a lot of drama, but it's been really good. And like I said, I'll show you again in here, like just throughout the series, like just here again, look at all the words in there. It's a very wordy series, lots of writing, and again, like I said, it's really like reading a novel, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, but again, it's like a head trip, man, because like you're getting it, and especially when I look at this book, because it's like really flimsy. It's not a very thick book, you know what I mean? There's no ads in these books, you know what I'm saying? There's like this last page of the book, which is the back cover. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And you open up the front cover, and that's it. Just the title page, and then it gets into the story. Just 21 pages. These books have been, but again, they're like there's so much in each one of them. Like I want to go back and read issue number 1 and issue number 2, but man, it's been a really heavy series, and I don't know. Has anybody else out there been reading the No Ones? I don't know. If you have, let me know down in the comments below. Again, I thought it's been a very good series, but the thing I like about it is something here I've been talking about for a long time, and that's uh, let's see. The thing here about this series is the one thing I like about it is something I've talked a lot about here on this channel is when it comes to like the comic books and everything. We see that when it comes to the big two, Marvel and DC, they've got things going on where they're giving like these characters over to new writers, letting new writers handle them, and they're doing all kinds of different things with them, things that people don't necessarily like being done with their classic characters. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. You can only do so much with a Peter Parker Spider-Man, and change so much before people start to get mad about it, or say or do stories about certain things. In our times, like whether it's agenda based or not, just certain messages in books that you don't want to see in these classic characters. Like you're used to seeing Peter Parker Spider-Man out there, you know what I mean? And that's the thing I like about these other books when it comes to some of these indies is some of these indie writers is the fact that they have to build the world. You know what I mean? They have to build the world. They have to build these characters. They have to get you to know them for you to want to get invested in them to read these stories. So while I think that's a great thing, I think it's probably one of the harder things to do. I mean, imagine if there wasn't a Spider-Man out there in the world, like arguably one of the biggest superheroes out there. Imagine if there wasn't a Spider-Man. But there's other heroes, and then you got to go and try to write Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like you've got to bring this character in and introduce them and get people to care about them. Probably not the easiest thing in the world to do, but if you're a writer, a creator who wants to do certain things, maybe you got a certain message or anything you want to put in your books. I mean, put that into your own characters. I mean, I think this is a good thing what Jim Krueger is doing here with the series. And again, he's apparently he's a writer. He's done a lot of work in the in the comic book world, and I really like I said what he's done here in the No Ones. And I found him through a way of reading Neon Future, which is my favorite indie title of the year. And again, that was a really well written series as well. But Jim Krueger here has been doing an absolutely great job with the No Ones, and I'm guessing that I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like Cave Pictures Publishing is a small. Might only be able to get these in floppies, but I would guess most places are going to put out trade paperbacks. Like I said, they're on issue number 5 here already, so I mean that's realistically enough for a trade paperback already. So like I said, I've enjoyed this series. I've come to find that Jim Krueger is actually a pretty good writer, pretty good at getting in, kind of really getting you to know these characters. Because, like I said, when I first read issue number 3, I was lost. I'm sitting there like, dude, there's a lot in this book that I don't get and understand. Maybe I need to read issue number 2, number 1 and 2. But then I read issue number 4, and I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing a lot here, but I'm getting filled in the story more. And then by the time we get issue number 5, I kind of really noticed like each one of these books is showcasing a different character here in this world. So he's taken time to flesh out these characters and introduce them through this first volume. And I'm guessing that's what it's going to be a lot about. These first handful of books is kind of nailing down what each one of these characters are, who they are, why they got their powers, and what their whole purpose is, what their whole point is within the larger scheme of things. And again, they're on issue number 5, so I'm guessing they've probably already. I'm guessing issue number 1, probably. Let's see here. If we've got these 3 already, if we got Halfling, Flock, and Omen already, that's the 3 issues I've got. I'm guessing that there is, in the first 2 issues, we're probably either talking about the Bar, Muse, Ripple, or Call were the 2 that were talked about in issue number 1 and 2. And again, I want to go back and I want to go back and read issue number 1 and 2 so I can learn a little bit more about these characters, because like that's how good it's been. You know what I mean? And it's funny because it's one of those. You know what do they call that, man? It's like that creeper. You know what I'm talking about. You got come on. You guys were teenagers or maybe in your 20s or 30s or 40s before too, and you know about that creeper. You know what I'm saying? You know about the creeper. That's kind of what this story's done. Is it's really creeped upon me, because at first, like I said, it was like really wordy and really heavy, and I'm like, man, this is a lot, man. I don't know. And it I mean it picked up and just got better the more and more that you get into the story, that you get into the book and start to learn the characters. And like I said, Jim Krueger's done a really good job world building here. So again, I don't know, I think that's just me. Like I said, it might be something you'd be into, and for $3.99 for a small indie book like that, I gotta say I'm pretty happy with that. So, yeah, I guess that's all I've got for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you didn't make it at the beginning, I was just talking about a lot of the comic books that are getting ready to come out for the week, talking about the previews and what I think is going to be, whether they're any good or not, or what I knew about them in the first place anyway. But so you can always go back and rewatch that. And again, I am doing a giveaway for this video. I'll probably do the giveaway next week. And that's for this right here, this poster for Joker Killer Smile. Yeah, yeah, right? Yeah, I know. That's all you got to do to get entered into the contest for this is, well, you got to be a citizen of the United States, live in the greater United States, so I can mail this out to you. But then you also got to be subscribed to the channel, and then you have to go find this video after it's fully uploaded and everything, because it's in the live video, and let me know that you want to join in the giveaway for that. Just say, hey, I'm in for the Joker poster, or I want to be, here for all that, whatever you want. Just let me know that you want the poster, but you're going to have to come back and comment in the actual video itself, and I'll probably do that giveaway for that next week. But make sure you pay attention here to the channel. I'm going to have some more comic book reviews getting ready to come out this week, as well as a video talking about how to get entered into the giveaway that I will be doing for my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube, and that's coming up on November 29th. So make sure you stay tuned here to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you don't, give it a thumbs down. It's all good. I'm not going to look into it that much, and I certainly don't take it personal. But while you're at it, make sure that you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Or I guess go out and have a great week. It's not even Monday yet, right? Go out and support your local comic book shop. Happy reading, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.